Welcome back to the channel. I want to thank you all for your likes, your shares, subscribes. Follow me in my other platforms if you're not doing so already. And I just want to give thanks for listening to my videos, for liking my videos, for sharing my videos, and for following me. Thank you. And so I want to get right into the message, right? And so I speak a lot on energy, and I'm going to continue to do so because energy is our greatest currency, right? And so it's so much deeper than what we think. It's so much deeper than what we know about it because this is not something that is taught to us. Because the point is that the powers at work like to keep us in a form of a slumber, in a form of just not knowing the things that really do matter, right? And so as I discover more things, as I evolve, as I learn, as I ascend, it is my duty to basically report back to you guys. That's just how that is. So I wanted to touch base on energy, right? And so I'll I'll explain it in such a way that we can all comprehend. So you know how money is our currency, right? Here in this realm, in this earthly realm, we need money in order to be able to purchase the things that we need, and it's a currency, right? But money is energy, right? It's a form of energy as well. However, once we understand that, we understand the part about money, right? Like in this earthly realm, we need money, right? And so in the spiritual, and that money is the currency here. It's like people have money, they're of value, like, like that type of scenario, right? So now my video here is going to be about how energy is the greatest currency when it comes to the spiritual realm, right? And so I usually speak on the diabolicals, right? That's just that's that's my purpose. I'm supposed to expose these things, right? So in the spiritual realm, we the greatest currency is energy, right? It goes high prices. The reason being that these diabolical entities, the high powers at work, they lack that, right? And so there are different forms of energy, but the one that carries more weight, the one that is most expensive, is purity. Not perfect, not being perfect, being pure. Like having good intentions, having a moral compass, um, being a good human being, right? So in the spiritual realm, this is what they seek. They seek purity, they seek innocence, they seek vitality, they seek youth. That is the currency, right? And so in exchange for that, they'll promise money, they'll promise fame, fortune, wealth to the beings here in this 3D realm, right? That's why there are beings who are able to connect with the spiritual realm, right? And they're able to interact with the spiritual realm. Hence, why there are still being sacrifices being practiced, and why there are things happening all over the world where, you know, endangerment goes on when it comes to all forms and ages when it comes to human beings. And I'm not going to go into detail about what I'm trying to say, but I'm pretty sure you could catch on, right? When it comes to innocence, when it comes to youth, when it comes to people being targeted, humans being targeted and being harmed, it is because of the energy that they carry. And it is so because in the spiritual realm, when it comes to the dark forces, what they seek most, what they need most is energy, right? And so we have been programmed to not look at ourselves as energy, and to not look at ourselves as to what type of energy we carry and what type of beings we are and how we are so sought after because of that, right? And so I just wanted to expose that a lot of these well, demonic practices, like the demonic practices, that just common sense, they do these human sacrifices. They even when they practice in the bloodline per se, right, they'll inflict that pain into certain beings in that bloodline, because that's part of what they do, is like second nature to them. And then when it comes to crime, right, that's where I was getting up to. When it comes to crime, when it comes to these secret societies, when it comes to trafficking, sex trafficking, human trafficking, when it comes to all of that, this is done with that purpose. It looks like, oh, these people are just, evil. They're just committing crime, right? But the other aspect of that, when it comes to human sacrifices, when it comes to sex trafficking, when it comes to organ harvesting, it is because of the energy that people carry. Some people are healers, right? Some people are born with gifts and they're healers. And so they carry a specific form of DNA where if you attack a healer, the healer is just going to heal herself or himself. That's just how that goes, because the person's a healer, right? So these type of people are sought after. They're targeted because of who they are, right? And what happens here is that, because in this realm the currency is money, right? The currency is money, is fame, is fortune. That's what people want, right? They get people to sacrifice their own family members. They're the people that, because it's a sacrifice, right? So it has to be somebody that's close to you, somebody that, right? So they get people to sacrifice these beings and sell them out to these secret societies, these cartels. It sounds harsh, but that's the reality. For them to be trafficked, for their organs to be harvested, for their energy, right? And so when this happens, these individuals that are targeted are set up to lose everything, and to basically, if they're unable to get to them in the physical realm because of the spiritual protection that these individuals have, usually these individuals are chosen individuals. But more often than not, before they get to a chosen individual, they have done this many times. But the video is about to end, so I'm gonna have to do a part 2. But I wanted to bring about awareness that these things happen, and that these things continue to occur because people are money hungry nowadays.